Hello everyone, my name is David. This is my first chess video on YouTube and chessvideotv.com. Today we're going to look at a game between myself and my opponent here, who's playing black. I'm playing white. This is a Queen's Gambit of the Baltic Defense, ECO rating of D02. I've been playing chess for many years and I have a correspondence rating of 2070. That's where I play most of my serious games. I have an over-the-board rating of 1870, and my Blitz ratings are from anywhere from 1200 to 1500, depending on how I feel that day, and a lot of other things. The theme of our game today will be of weak squares and dominance of the colors of the squares. So why don't we get into the game and go see how it goes. I'm playing white, my opponent is black, and my first move is d4. He plays d5, I play knight to f3, and bishop to f5. It's a good idea to get this bishop out early, out of its away from its pawns of the same color. A lot of times in queen pawn openings, this bishop gets blocked in by developing the bishop outside of the pawn structure. After black pushes the pawn to e6, the bishop will not be blocked in. E3, continuing my development. D6 does likewise. C4 is kind of like a Queen's Gambit now, and C6. This pawn structure that you see here is usually associated with the Slav defense, which is a very solid defense by black. I played Queen to B3. Now I played this with the idea of attacking this pawn because it is no longer defended by this bishop, since the bishop is outside of the pawn structure, which is one of the drawbacks of this, but it can be easily defended, which black does with queen to c7. I play knight to c3, bringing out another piece for development. He responds with bishop to d6, and he's threatening pawn possibly later on, or with his attack here on my h2 pawn. I go ahead and push my pawn. I gain space on the queen side, and I make him retreat the bishop, and he does so to e7. I bring my white squared bishop out, bishop d2, and he continues his development with knight to f6. Play h3. Some people might criticize this move thinking it's kind of a waste, but I decided to play it because I wanted to keep his knight out, the bishop out. Sometimes this can be an annoying pin here. Black castles. I play queen to d1 with the idea I'm going to start pushing my queen side pawns. I need to get my queen out of the way, and that's why I decided to retreat my queen. A6. Now this is the first mistake by black, because what it does is it leaves a hole here on the dark squares, and that's our other theme here of this game. I want to eventually bring my knight there. I'm going to play it here, and that'll be a very strong piece there. You can see by the pawn structures that I have my pawns on the black squares, which gives me my strength, and with his dark square bishop, he is able to control these squares, but this is what I'm going to be playing on, is this idea that I can control these dark squares, and I'll be able to bring my knight to b6 shortly. Bring my knight out, bring it into my plan. He plays queen to a5. Now this is a mistake because it loses a tempo, and I just protect my king with my bishop. He has to retreat. So if you look at this position versus what it was 2 moves ago, the difference is that I've now got an extra development. The same position, but I have one more piece developed. So in a sense, this is how you look at black losing a tempo or time. The game continued, knight to b6. Now this is my knight's very strong here. It's attacking his rook, and of course he moves his rook. And now I'm going to reinforce this knight by bringing my pawn up. Excuse me. Another thing could have been I could have brought this bishop up with the idea of a possible discovered attack on the queen. He would have maybe retreated it like this. I would have castled. He would have played knight to e4, and the game could have continued. That would have been one variation. But back to the game. I played a4. He plays knight at b to d7, attacking my knight. I go ahead and bring my pawn up, protecting the knight some more. I've got it overprotected. protected. He drops the queen back. I castle. I've completed my development. We both completed our developments, and I'm going to be playing here queen side because this is where I have the most space. He should be looking for something on the king side. Well, this knight's annoying to him, so he goes in and takes it, and I retake with my A pawn. And now somehow I've got to figure out, I'm most probably going to have to sacrifice a piece or something to open up this queen side and get this pawn advanced. He retreats his rook. Of course, it was attacked. I play bishop to A5. This is a piece that I need to exchange because it is the same color of all my pawns, and it really doesn't do me a lot of good because of that. He plays knight to E4, and now knight to E5. This is the key move in White's plan, because what I need to open up this queen side, and you'll see very shortly he plays bishop to F6, planning on exchanging this knight, and now I play knight takes C6. I attack the queen. I've broken open the pawn structure here on the queen side. He plays B takes C6, and I now play B7. This is that discovered attack we talked about earlier. The bishop attacks the queen, and the pawn attacks the rook. Of course, he has to move his queen. I take with the rook, queening. He retakes, and now I play bishop to B6. Now my bishop is very active. Now it's not blocked in by the pawns, and it's very strong. Anyway, now my opponent plays bishop to D8. One to get bishop, and I play rook to takes A6, winning the pawn. Now I'm ahead. The exchange plus a pawn. I'll eventually pick up this pawn here. It'll be difficult for him to protect it. I moves his queen, and I go ahead and take with the bishop. He takes with the rook, and I thought about capturing this pawn here, but I decided not to because I didn't want him to take with his queen here and possibly get some kind of counterplay. So I go ahead and just block the file with my rook, forcing him to move his queen. And I guess because he's seen that he was down the exchange plus a pawn, I'll soon be able to move my queen, let's say to 8-1, attacking the queen and being able to move my queen up and bring this rook over to reinforce. This pawn will eventually be captured, and this passed C pawn will eventually queen for me. Anyway, my opponent had resigned here, and I hope you enjoyed the game. It's my first one. I hope to improve, but anyway, take care. Thank you very much.